Last week in the 125s, Talon Bolin met with near disaster, fracturing 2 ribs and puncturing a lung. Now with a 69-point lead over his competition, Ricky Carmichael is 4 wins away from becoming the winningest rider in 125 history. In the 250s, points leader Sebastian Tortelli ended his season with a broken wrist, narrowing the field to 4 riders vying for the #1 plate. With 3 points leaders in 4 weeks, who will become the king of the 250s this week? Stay tuned. Round 8 of AMA Motocross is next. Hello once again, everyone. Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Davey Combs from Kenworthy Motocross Park in Troy, Ohio. It's AMA Motocross for round number 8. The 125s are at the gate now, getting set for their first moto. Brock Sellards, 3rd in the point standings, would love to find a first win here today on the season. Ricky Carmichael has just taken away with things, winning 7 of the 8 rounds. There we see Michael Craig, who's now on a Kawasaki. This is his 3rd race back since changing teams and also dealing with an injury. The Budman, the Arena Cross 3-time champion, Buddy Antunez, number 54, also awaits. Everybody looking pretty relaxed to the line as Ricky Carmichael with a 69-point lead over Talon Bolin, who is out with the injury. Let's go down to the starting gate now with Davey Combs.
Another hot day for the AMA Mazda National Motocross Championships. This time I'm on the starting gate in front of the first 125 moto here at Kenworthy's MX Park in Troy, Ohio. Annually one of the hottest, toughest races in the world. You got a feeling it's not going to make a difference to Ricky Carmichael. Last week, Ricky hauled 50 points away from Talon Bolin, his nearest competitor, for the 125 National Championship. Bolin, of course, had that nasty crash off the start, while Carmichael rode to a couple wins in the second moto, going from 35th to 1st. We probably won't have that problem this week. It's a long, safe start here. Carmichael gets away cleanly. You got to think he's going to be in control here, as he's been all year long.
Thanks, Davey. As we take a look at the track map.
Track winds all around in and out of the woods sections. We're going to take a look over to the right of your screen at the section heading down into Devil's Corner from the rider's point of view. Big double jumps. They come out of the shadows. Approaching a double jump. A lot of riders favoring the right side, thinking they can stay lower to the ground. Approaching Devil's Corner, back into the shadows. Tough to pick your line as you go in and out of the trees. Right out of the corner, you've got another double, so you got to stay sharp there.
Leading off our Suzuki starting grid, a couple of pro circuit riders, Carmichael and Nick Way. Primal Suzuki's Michael Brandis. Yamaha of Troy's Casey Lytle. FMF's Brock Sellards. Go back to pro circuit with Nathan Ramsey, who also picked off that 125 Western Supercross crown this year, as Ernesto Fonseca was his counterpart. The 125 East. Jason McCormick coming off a great round at Unadilla, where he led most of the race until Ricky caught him right at the end. As usual, it's hot and humid here in Troy, Ohio, but I don't think it's quite as bad as it has been in the past. The riders are set for the first moto of 125 action. Here you see Nick Way kick-starting. Right next to Way was Ernesto Fonseca, and David Bailey. He might do better on this Supercross-like track.
I think so, because you don't have, this is the complete opposite of Unadilla, where you just had bumps scattered everywhere. Here it's much more uniform, man-made, requires a lot better timing.
Michael Brandis on one side of the shack and Brock Sellards on the other. There's Michael Craig, number 25, Nathan Ramsey. Let's get nervous time. Here's our 2-time defending champion, Ricky Carmichael. Chad Watts getting in his glasses. We're almost set to go.
That's a drag race to the first corner. Look at all the room they have. They go from grass into that soft loam you see right there at the bottom of the screen.
A big charge to the first corner is underway as the first moto of 125 action has started here at Kenworthy's farm. And it's number 22, Yamaha of Troy's Stefan Roncada. Roncada goes wide. Casey Lytle, number 33, in the center of things. And number 54 is Buddy Antunez, the Arena Cross champion. Good start, David.
An awesome start for the 2 Supercross riders. Fonseca right in there along with Antunez.
Casey Lytle, our leader, number 33.
Look for nearby Yamaha of Troy. They're looking good with a couple of their riders out front. Whoa.
That's Michael Craig, David. Just had the front wheel wash right out. Our leader, Casey Lytle. Buddy Antonez moving into second place now. 3 out of the top 4 Yamaha Troy bikes. Antonez getting the challenge, though, from Roncada.
And Roncada coming up a little bit short right there, and that's going to allow Fonseca, well, he gets up in there to the inside. I don't think he can make the pass. That's the timing I was talking about.
Casey Lytle getting a good start. He's practiced hard on those starts this year. So it's Lytle, Roncada, Fonseca, Sellards, Antonez, and Carmichael, the top 6. Can the Honda, Suzukis, and Kawasaki's break up the Yamaha monopoly? We'll be right back. AMA Motocross is brought to you by Honda Motorcycles and the 1999 Honda Race Team. Honda, ride red. We are back at Troy, Ohio. The first moto of 125s just getting underway. Casey Lytle is leading his teammate, Stefan Roncada, number 22. Stefan is looking for opportunity right now. Stefan to the outside. On the left of your screen, Casey Lytle. And Stefan Roncada made it look easy.
Well, that was easy right there. All he did was just out jump him into the corner and control the inside. It was a smart move. I think Casey is a teammate. Otherwise, he might have wanted to shut the door there a little bit.
Roncada, his most impressive start so far in the motocross season. This is only his 3rd race back after dealing with that very troublesome wrist injury. Fonseca now takes a little double jump there in the whoop section to try to catch up with Lytle.
Amazes me every year those guys get better through that section back there. This is the approach for the pass. Watch Lytle right here. I mean, he can sense Roncada's there. If it wasn't his teammate, he'd have just beelined right for the inside, but he just kind of makes it a little easier for Roncada. Now he can learn from him. Hopefully Yamaha Troy can pull away.
Ernesto Fonseca in 3rd place. Ernesto's been getting good starts lately and has improved steadily with his motocross skills. After winning the Supercross crown, surprising everybody in his rookie year. I think a lot more was expected of him in the outdoors.
There's Carmichael right behind Antonez.
Carmichael coming up quickly after a slower start. You find it unusual that Ricky Carmichael does not have a hole shot this year?
Yes, I do, because he's got the horsepower. I'm sure of it. I know he has the skill, but it could have something to do with the fact that, whoa, Fonseca gets a little out of shape.
And there goes Brock Sellards, and Ricky Carmichael is right behind him.
But there's been a lot of cement starts this year, and that gives everybody problems. Watch, he has problems getting through that berm. I think the berm has a little hook in it, and you can see he hits it right there, gets a little off balance. Does a good job to save it. He only loses 1 position.
Brock Sellards moving into 3rd on the FMF Honda number 27. You see him there.
Yeah, sometimes these berms get shoved out. You have to actually hit the beginning of the berm, cut out of it, and miss a little part of it. You got to be able to react to those things. It's caught Fonseca by surprise.
They call that the dirty dozen. All kinds of different jumps in kind of an irregular whoop section. As Ricky Carmichael now tries to make a move on Ernesto Fonseca. Carmichael wanting to get back up to challenge the leader. Brock Sellards, Ernesto Fonseca, Ricky Carmichael. And Carmichael with a great sweeping inside move. Looks back at them, at Fonseca, as if to say, hey, get away from me.
I don't recall ever seeing anybody go through that corner on the inside as fast as Carmichael just did. It was just unbelievable, and probably feeling a little bit proud of himself. He turned around to give him a look, going, that's how you do it. Look at that, on the inside, wide open. And Fonseca's out there trying to find a berm, and Carmichael's already got the pass made. Watch him right here. Turns around, looks out. I'll tell you what, if I was Fonseca, I wouldn't like that one bit. That ought to motivate him a little.
So Ricky Carmichael ups it 1 notch. Brock Sellards in front of him. Sellards is coming off a 2nd place podium finish with a 6.3 at Unadilla. Is looking very consistent, very smooth lately. But Ricky Carmichael, of course, has proven time and time again that a bad start doesn't hamper him from winning a race.
He's already pulling away and starting to put the pressure on Sellards in front of him. Look how fast he gets through that berm. And as soon as he hits the berm, he's already back on the power. Just no hesitation at all in his corner speed. Each year, these guys figure out a faster way through that section. Now they're coming right out of the ends.
Oh, Carmichael goes down. Keeps it going.
He's back up quick, but that's Fonseca's probably going there. That's what you get. You get cocky with me.
After charging all the way to fourth, he has to get it going again.
I'm sure he can. He's probably mad at himself. He's going to go even faster now. I love the way this track winds in and out of the trees. I mean, it's just a flat piece of land. They've done so much with it. Carmichael getting in there. He didn't really have a chance to put his foot out yet for the corner. Once that front wheel drifted over the berm, he didn't have anything to put down and catch himself, and down he went.
So once again, Ricky Carmichael is on the chase with Ernesto Fonseca right in front of him. Casey Lytle, number 33, in second place with Brock Sellards in fourth.
That's a lot of air time down that straightaway. That's a section we looked at during the track map.
Lytle not only does not have a podium finish overall this year, but a fifth at Unadilla in the last race was his best finish of the season.
He's had his opportunities. The kid gets phenomenal starts. He's strong in the beginning of the race, but seems to have little lapses here and there that have him drifting backward. And I think the more often he gets those great starts and runs up front, the more comfortable he becomes in that position. But I kind of thought he would have been comfortable with it by now. I mean, Supercross, he led so many races. I don't think he should be intimidated, but it still seems to be getting to him.
This would be a fun track for you to ride, wouldn't it, back in your day?
I would love it.
Because you had such smooth technique.
I like the fact that it goes in. I like the soil, first of all. I like the jumps, of course. A really fun racetrack, but I would like to see it get a little rougher. It's pretty smooth out there. There's not very many braking bumps. Even approaching this corner there we're heading into now, there's not much really. It's just flat and into a berm.
Brock Sellards trying to make a move on Casey Lytle. And here is Ricky Carmichael going to the outside this time on Fonseca.
He can just pretty much do whatever he wants to get around Ernesto. And I think that's going to motivate Fonseca to try to get something going. It's no fun to get past and have your opportunity when Carmichael went down this corner right here.
Carmichael to the inside.
You get back by a rider, and then he comes back by you again. It's frustrating.
So our leader continues to be Stefan Roncada. We'll be right back with more 125 action in a moment. Welcome back to Kenworthy Motocross Park in Troy, Ohio, in a hot summer afternoon. 125 action, moto number one. We're taking a look at the battle for second place. Brock Sellards cuts to the inside on Casey Lytle. It is FMF's Brock Sellards moving to second place with Stefan Roncada of Yamaha of Troy starting to check out in front.
That was just pressure by Sellards. A mistake by Lytle. He just couldn't hold the inside right there, and Sellards was close enough to take advantage. Look how much air they get. They're jumping all the way to the downside of that plateau, which is the landing. Rather than a double, they land onto a plateau.
Brock Sellards continues his fine riding.
Lytle right here. Looks like he locks up the rear wheel. He started for the inside, didn't quite have it. Sellards just nailed it. Right into the berm. Makes the pass.
So Brock now has quite a chore in catching up with the leader as Ricky Carmichael. His next target is Casey Lytle.
Best thing he can do, though, Art, is focus on catching Roncada and forget about that number one coming up fast. As we've seen all year, Ricky can catch anybody from anywhere, especially after Unadilla going down the first corner or second corner, really, and still winning the moto. You start thinking about him, he'll just catch you that much quicker.
Ricky Carmichael says his third consecutive 125 championship is, of course, the most important thing to him. But in the back of his mind, I think he's thinking of Mark Barnett's record.
Well, it'd be nice to have his cake and eat it, too. Become the winningest rider ever. Look at the pressure he puts on you.
And to the outside. Going through the dirty dozen like it was not even there.
Beautiful timing all the way through there, reaching around, fiddling with the clutch lever in the air. I don't know what he was doing there, but when he fell on the other side, so that couldn't be it.
Maybe just a nervous gesture as he takes over third place. All kinds of time for Ricky Carmichael.
He looked to his right over that jump. He's looking over to see where Roncada is.
And Roncada has really done a nice job at pulling away. Ricky knows he's got his work cut out for him quite a distance, and that's Brock Sellards right in front of him in second place.
Well, even if he can catch Sellards, he knows he's still got to deal with him for a couple of laps, perhaps, to get around. And that's just going to allow more of an advantage to Roncada. So he's in a hurry right now, and that crash really hurt him.
Here's our leader, Stefan Roncada.
Short sleeves and all. Look at that. These guys getting their sleeves shorter and shorter these days, and out here, as hot as it is, that feels good. You can tell a big difference rather than having that cuff there, restricting the airflow.
Stefan, a 14th in the last race after a 4th, and only his second race back. Really looked encouraging, but he had one atrocious moto in the last race that pulled his overall down.
He is looking perfect right now. Great lines. Watch him out of the inside. Jumps over all three of these. Another three. And he gets on the brakes just to get the last two into the corner.
Stefan is a holdover from last year's Honda of Troy team. And of course, when Yamaha of Troy signed with Yamaha as their 125 support team, it meant a lot of drastic changes for their team manager, Eric Kehoe, to deal with. When Eric Kehoe began the transformation of his team from Honda of Troy to Yamaha's exclusive 125 support team, he got lucky. But like in any profession, especially sports, a lot of success comes from being prepared when opportunity strikes. Eric was ready. He figured his team would need more than high-profile signings to survive. And he was right.
Late last year, we wanted to have a really strong team. We wanted to have some premier guys and some really good backup guys, and that proved to be wise for us.
Casey Johnson, dominating Supercross's 125 West Division, was struck down with a broken arm.
Unfortunately, we've had some injuries that we've been dealing with. The Supercross series, it went fairly well for most of our guys. Stefan Roncada had a wrist injury that he was dealing with. Casey Johnson, of course, leading the series and broke his arm. It was a terrible injury for him.
The young rookie out of Costa Rica, Ernesto Fonseca, surprised everyone by winning the 125 East.
We were really happy with that. Unfortunately, Stefan Roncada with the wrist injury didn't do quite as well as everybody expected. So I think the depth in the team has worked well.
All in all, it's been a good learning year for the entire team. Eric Kehoe's leadership has been invaluable. The former 125 title contender has found out that this job is never without challenges.
Everybody has different opinions and different ideas, and trying to get everybody to come together for a common goal, it's tough sometimes.
Stefan Roncada now is trying to show Eric Kehoe that he is more than potential.
That was beautiful, the way he got around that berm. His timing is perfect. I talk about the timing here. That's critical. I'm sure he's had a few laps out here on this racetrack since their team is about just a few miles down the road. I'm sure he's comfortable. He's showing it right now.
Yeah, if there's one track you really want to show up well in front of all the sponsors and so forth, for Yamaha of Troy, it's Troy, Ohio. The battle for second place is on. Ricky Carmichael getting close enough now to test Brock Sellards.
I think for Carmichael right now and Sellards, they're looking at really wanting to win this battle for second place, because that puts you in a position for the overall if they can't catch Roncada. Neither one of these guys are gaining on him right now.
Ricky Carmichael once again trying that fast inside move, but it didn't quite work on Brock Sellards this time.
Brock had sent him back there, and he hurried that outside line. Didn't hold him off by much. Oh.
Little block pass involved there. Just a slight touch, and Ricky Carmichael moves into second place. A strategic move by Ricky Carmichael.
That was pretty heads up. I didn't even see that coming. I don't think Brock had any idea he was going to get in there and make that pass. And sometimes it's a lot better. Neither one of them could do the double jump coming out of the corner, but it didn't matter. He made the pass. Now he can go to work on Roncada.
So at the Kenworthy Farm, it's Stefan Roncada. The next assignment for Ricky Carmichael. Does he have the time to catch him here in the first moto? We'll find out in a moment. We're back at Troy, Ohio. It is our opening moto of 125 action to Brandon Jessamine, number 67. in the best position he's been in all year, 5th place. Jessamine, truly a fast amateur with all kinds of trophies out of the amateur ranks, passing Fonseca. Fonseca now wanting it back, and they rub the plastic. It's Ernesto Fonseca that goes down after initiating the play.
Well, he came up on the inside. It looked like he was going to be the one that was going to come out better there. And I think they hooked handlebars. That was one of those deals where I think Jessamine thought he was going to go down and kind of went, whoa, I'm still up. But he got passed by Pingree in the process.
David Pingree moving into 5th place now instead of Ernesto Fonseca. As we switch gears to Ricky Carmichael in 2nd place. And I just don't think he has the time this time around to catch our leader, Roncada, unless something should happen to Roncada.
But check out Sellards. He is
hanging right with him,
hitched the ride. He is studying every line. He didn't pick up that one. That inside and over the triple there, I think that's the faster line. But that's not easy for everybody to do. It's working good for Roncada out front. Carmichael's now doing it. And it didn't seem like Sellers lost that much time, but you start losing a few feet here and there, that adds up.
Carmichael starting to just draw away a little bit from Brock Sellards now.
Look how hard they're hitting those berms. That's how they get shoved out. You hit that berm and you get a soft spot in there and it pushes it out and ruins it. You got to be on top of that and know that, okay, about 2 more laps, I'm not going to be able to use that anymore. I got to plan ahead.
This little covey of trees that we're racing through is surrounded by cornfields, very flat. And this is all man-made, these jumps.
You go from some of this dry.
Roncada feeling his oats.
Yeah, he's happy. You go from some of that dry soil, actually like a street, some of it real slippery. Then you go into the tacky stuff in the trees.
Stefan Roncada, after missing almost 2 months of racing, is really starting to show a release of joy here as he guns for his first moto win of the year.
This is going to feel good. Just a moto win does so much for you. That can change the whole rest of the season for him now. He believes he can win. Everybody was out there, fair and square. Had a decent start, worked his way around his teammate into the lead, and deserved this.
It was impressive the way he just checked out after getting the lead. He cruises across the finish line. Checkered flag not waving too intently. And Ricky Carmichael comes across in 2nd with Brock Sellards in 3rd. Ricky not too happy with himself after slipping out. And Roncada took advantage of it. Roncada, Carmichael, Sellards, Lytle, and Pingree are top 5. Let's go down to Davey Combs.
And has a big smile, Stefan. Congratulations. I got to tell you, what an upset.
Yeah, you know, it's been really bad for me this year, and everybody was saying that I wasn't training and stuff. So I've been training a lot, and I think I proved today that I have the heart to win, and I've been training a lot.
I got to tell you, this is the home track race for the Yamaha of Troy team. I know your boss, Bill Alderton, always looks forward to this event. You gave him a moto win. That's got to do something for you as well.
You know, winning here in Troy, it's the best thing that can ever happen for me. Like you said, Phil must be pretty happy right now. And,
Fantastic job, Stefan.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks to everybody. I'm really happy now.
You wonder what motocrossers have to go through. Did you see those stitch marks on his shoulder? Ricky Carmichael, a 2nd place finish. I don't suppose he's too happy, is he, Davey Combs?
All right, Rick. Terrible start, and then you made it worse when you fell. Tell us what happened.
I don't know. Back in there after the whoops, my front end washed out, and it was all over. The guy was friggin' 20 seconds ahead, and nothing I could do.
But you got 2nd. That still leaves you in place for the overall.
Yeah, but, you know, I want to win, and Stefan was riding good, and I wasn't catching him, so hats off to him. But it's going to be heck, the 2nd moto.
Does it surprise you at all how fast Roncada was riding? I mean, he rode solid, and it's a hot day. It's a rough track. Rode good.
He rode good, and let's see if he can do it for 2 motos.
Mike LaRocco getting ready now for the first moto of 250 action, where we've got a tremendous points race underway. Albertine leading Wyndham by 21 points. We'll be right back. We're back at Kenworthy Motocross Park in Troy, Ohio. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Combs in the sizzling heat. I don't think it's quite as hot as it usually is here, though. Maybe the humidity's down a bit. We take a look at Mike LaRocco.
Watch what these guys have been doing lately. They go out and they spin the tire They're trying to prepare that cement, get something to hook up on after the start. And when they line up behind the gate, they'll spin the tire. And you get the tire hop. But then out over in front of the gate, they want something to hook up on.
Our starting grid, the defending champion, Doug Henry, took a second place here last year. Ezra Lusk still in the points chase. Albertine is our new points leader, and Mike LaRocco also on the chase, has a chance at the championship. Kevin Windham has been riding very well lately, as has Larry Ward for Team Suzuki. And the rest of the 40-rider field, including John Dowd, Steve Lampson, Robbie Raynard, Jean-Sebastian Waugh has been riding consistently lately. In fact, in the last race, he had a 5th place finish in the opening moto at Unadilla and a 7th overall. So with the 250s at the line getting ready to go, let's go down to the gate and Davey Coombs.
Down here on the starting gate before the first 250 moto gets underway here at Kenworth, I want to tell you guys about Mike LaRocco. Last week he got to realize a dream that probably every older athlete one day thinks about, and that's to get one more shot to get back on top. Mike did more than that. He got a race win at Unadilla, thrust himself back into the 250 championship point standings. Also, this week he was named as a member of Team USA. He's going to represent the United States and the 1999 Motocross destinations down in Brazil. But in the meantime, the task at hand is to get another national win and get closer to Greg Albertine in the chase for the title.
There's Doug Henry getting set here at the... This is the first time they've had a concrete starting pad, I think, in Troy.
That might be part of the problem with Emig this year. His starts have just not been what he's used to.
Taking a look at the 250 point standings, Albertine by 21 points over Windham and the injured Tortelli. LaRocco 26 points back. So we're getting set as the 32nd card is upright. When that goes sideways, the gate will drop from 5 to 10 seconds. We're set to go. From Troy, Ohio, moto number 1 of the 250s is underway. On the 4-stroke of Doug Henry in good position here. Henry to the inside. He'll be credited with the whole shot. Lusk, Ward, Button, Albertine, Windham, all in good position. There's Koiketa, number 30, and he goes down right in front of somebody. But it's Lusk on the tail of Doug Henry out in front. Oh, Robbie Raynard got mixed up in that mess.
That's too bad. You see Robbie shaking his head going, can I just get through the first lap for once? That happened at Unadilla last week. So it was a bummer for Koiketa. He had a great start. Started swapping right there, right in the middle of the pack. Looks like he's going to take his time getting up.
Interesting that on a Supercross-like motocross track, Doug Henry does so well with a 4-stroke, a 2nd place last year. He hooks up on the slippery portions, evidently.
Plus, you just never know with Doug. You know, he's gotten so skilled at riding that bike. Look at his timing through there. 3, 3, 3, all the way through the section. Just barely scrubs off a little speed there. He might have done that on purpose just so he can make the berm.
Then he gets great traction and acceleration out of the corners.
He's got Lusk and Ward right there, Windham. He's got some fast company. Lusk needs to get something going. Look at the power, though. Every time Henry grabs a handful of throttle, he just hooks up and pulls away.
Let's check out the order of things, David. Is Lusk in 2nd, Ward, Windham. Then we've got Button, Albertine. There's Emig, number 11. Ezra Lusk in 2nd place. Larry Ward in 3rd with Windham in 4th. Boy, anybody could win this one right there.
This is close. Good to see Larry Ward up there with a decent start. I remember he was part of that Honda of Troy team. He's always done well at this racetrack. This guy's using opposite sides of the straightaway. Either all the way on the left or all the way on the right. I don't know what's wrong with the middle. Something must not be good there. Gopher hole or something's in the way.
So Doug Henry, supposedly on a goodbye tour to smile at the fans, thank them, sign thousands of autographs. But when opportunity strikes, boy, that desire to win just won't go away.
No, he took forever on the warm-up lap, waving to everybody. It was like that at Glen Helen. The crowd loved to see him ride by, acknowledging him.
Ezra Lusk is right there with Ward and Windham. Albertine in 6th, our points leader. Back to 250 action. Moto number 1 from Kenworthy Motocross Park. Art Eckman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs. We've got the battle going on for second place between Ezra Lusk, number 4, and Larry Ward, number 7. It's been a back-and-forth battle for that position, and they haven't lost much ground to Doug Henry, who's in the lead.
It's staying tight. These guys are fighting. Usually when you start getting in a battle with each other, you might let the guy in front of you start to pull away a little bit, but they have stayed close. And look at Kevin, he's right there.
Kevin Wyndham, number 14, trying to get into the act. Like he cased it pretty hard. That can hurt the wrist.
And Ward, better timing through that section, gets around Lusk. Lusk, it's a little off here and there. Not letting his corner speed just carry him around to the outside. Ward looking over at him. Having a little bit of fun out there. I don't think Lusk is having fun.
Meanwhile, our points leader, Greg Albertine, is trying to pick up his act after a mediocre start. Doug Henry, though, keeping his pace just in front of Larry Ward, number 7, Lusk, number 4, and Lusk goes down. There's Albertine, number 8, going through the picture. Ezra Lusk getting right back on the bike, not hurt. He'll rejoin the action about 7th place in front of John Dowd, number 6. Trying to adjust that clutch lever and stay in front of Dowd. Another look.
Well, you're going through those shadows, and he gets a little bit high side, not leaning into the corner. High side. Watch Albertine. Right over the bike. Looked like Albertine could have missed the bike. He's probably figuring, you know what, if I run over that thing, maybe I can just knock him out of the point. There's Tim Ferry going down. Look, he's on a tough spot. He's got to start the bike with his other foot. Trying to start it in gear, too. Once that clutch gets hot, the bike doesn't want to start on the first kick. You're trying to start it in first and second gear.
So the track's starting to take its victims right now. Larry Ward in second place. Let's go down to Davey Combs. Davey's in the mechanics area. Davey?
Wow, Lee, what has gotten into your rider? Larry looks awesome this first moto.
I don't know what's gotten into him. He likes Troy. You know, he's had some good races here before, and I guess he's going to give it 100% today and go for the win.
This track must be to his liking. Is it the deep ruts that are in the corners? Is it the jumps or just the sheer speed?
I think it's a combination. He likes all the jumps. You know, he likes Supercross. There's, you know, no doubt about that. So he likes the jumps, and he likes the layout of the track. The dirt's good, and he just feels comfortable here.
It looks good so far.
Yeah, it's early. There's a lot of race to go yet.
I think it's a lot like where he tracks me home. It's all flat. It's not very hilly where he lives. So it's all the man-made stuff and the timing that's required. Plus, like I said before, being a part of that old Honda of Troy squad, being close to here, he's had a few laps in this racetrack. Once you do well somewhere, it just helps you every year after.
Doug Henry still our leader, with Larry Ward in second, Kevin Wyndham in third. And now Ward's starting to put a lot of pressure on Henry.
Using a little body English up over that plateau. You can see him trying to keep that bike straight upright, keep his body leaned into the corner. If you keep the bike straight upright, you got more rubber on the ground. You hook up a little bit better.
Just when it looks like Larry Ward's got a shot at taking the lead, Henry accelerates away from him.
I bet these guys getting a little tired of that too, but you know, I think four-stroke has its disadvantages as well. So Doug has had to spend a lot of time getting dialed in and riding that motorcycle. Now that he's figured it out, he's got it working. As long as he gets a good start, gets up there and runs with these guys, he is a threat.
Yeah, Doug Henry coming off 2 14th place overalls. But out in front, he's been tough here this afternoon at Troy, Ohio. Larry Ward just can't seem to make it stick when he gets up close.
Now that he's gotten up there, sort of hadn't been able to find a way around, Kevin Wyndham has joined this battle, and if Larry Ward slips out of his line, tries to get creative, finding a way around Doug, he's going to leave some room for Kevin.
And it just gives more time for Greg Albertine to catch up to the three of them.
He's still got a little lead on him, but still, it's a long ways, like we just said. There
Wyndham, all of a sudden, look out from behind. Kevin Wyndham slickly moves into second.
Yep, Ward just went out there. It wasn't because he was trying to find a way around Doug. It was just he was more comfortable in that outside line, and I don't think he realized Kevin was quite that close.
So Doug Henry continues to hold on to the lead. The battle is behind him. Henry Wyndham moving into second place. Ward in third. Let's go back down to Davey in the mechanics area.
It looks like Kevin's not wasting any time. He's right up there on Doug, putting the heat on him.
Yeah, it's kind of a one-line track right now, so hopefully he can get around him and get him a little lead before it gets too hot here.
I know last week at Unadilla didn't have the day he wanted. He lost his winning streak, a modest winning streak, but a winning streak nonetheless. Any extra confidence or hopes to win today, get back on that streak?
Oh yeah, we're always hoping to win every race, but I mean he's still got a lot of confidence. He knows he can do it. He's just got to do it for 30+2.
Yeah. By the way, congratulations being selected to Team USA.
Thanks a lot. I look forward to trying to win that title.
Davey bringing up the fact that both Mike LaRocco and Kevin Wyndham making the Motocross of Nations team. They'll be joined by Ricky Carmichael. The alternate will be Ezra Lust this year as they go to Brazil. Right back with more action. AMA Motocross is brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, get in, be moved. Moto number 1 of the 250s from Troy, Ohio. Do we have a battle coming up? That's Doug Henry in the lead on the 4-stroke Yamaha, the defending champion. And Kevin Wyndham, number 14, is knocking on the door, David.
Yeah.
Sebastian Waugh going down.
Seems like now that Kevin has tightened the screws a little bit on Doug, they've pulled away a little bit from Ward and Albie. And Albie has caught those guys. I have a feeling if he can get around Larry Ward, he is going to be able to, he's got the speed to catch the leaders.
If you're Larry Ward, do you let him by?
Well, kind of looked like he did. Actually, I think Larry Ward was trying to go for the inside. Realized he didn't have it. You see him look over right there. That was after the pass was made, but he realized that was Albie. I think this is pretty early in the season for any kind of teamwork. But yeah, you got to wonder.
Greg Albertine, our points leader, has moved all the way back up to third. And talk about moving up the list. Remember Robbie Raynard way back when he went down early, like in 38th position? He's making a run at the top 10. Damon Huffman having to restart after going down.
He's had a tough year. He's been in this position plenty of times. Hangtown, Unadilla, in here today. Kevin staying close. Albie starting to close the gap. I had a feeling, you see that he's already pulled away from Ward a little bit, so he does have a little bit more speed. Front end twitching as they get into that corner. That's slick. They come down off that plateau and land on the downside. It's like a slippery street. It's like cement.
Albertine cutting by a lap rider there. Lap rider going right across the course. Albie predicting before the season started, this is my year. I'm going to win it. Lo and behold, he finds himself leading.
He's been so aggressive without the little miscues and the things that kind of snuck up and bit him in the past few years. He's always had the speed. He's just had a little crashing spell there for a while, a couple of years ago, and then maybe not the best of luck. But this year he has persevered and done whatever it's taken to get himself up into point-scoring positions. He's had some problems too at the first 2 rounds. Glenn Helen going down in the first corner, I think it was in the second moto. And the same thing happened again at Hangtown. So he's had some problems and worked his way through it and found himself in the lead.
Got it out of his system after Hangtown, though. And it's really put it together. Doug Henry has a battle on his hands, but so far Kevin Wyndham hasn't been able to show him the wheel.
Art, I think what's happening right now is Doug is riding flawless, no mistakes, trying to ride the best line. Kevin's trying to do the same thing. Albie is trying as hard as he can to catch up, and they're all just equal right now. But I guarantee you in the final few laps, if they're still running the way they are, something's going to happen. So somebody's always able to step it up a little more, or somebody makes a mistake, and that's the difference.
What amazes me is they get such technique and speed and still don't go over the edge. so far?
Well, you get into lapped riders, and you realize that it's winding down. You got to make a move, and really the battle here is the way I look at it. If I'm Kevin, I'm trying to put Doug Henry between myself and Albie. Now, of course, Albie's probably back there sitting, thinking the same thing. You get a 5-point gap. And those guys are the only ones really in contention for the title. Doug doesn't really factor in at this point.
So Albertine's thinking right now, right, David Bailey, I got to get in front of Wyndham.
Well, that would be nice. Wyndham's in the better position right now. All he's got to do is make a pass and hope that Doug's able to hold off Albertine. He can start to reel in the leader. In the points chase, that is.
Henry, Wyndham, Albertine, and Ward still in fourth.
This comes down to you got to ride perfect. I mean, if Doug makes one mistake, Kevin's there. If Kevin makes one, Albie's there. I mean, this is great.
To the inside, Kevin Wyndham. Whoa, he showed him a wheel that time. More great action coming up. Welcome back to Troy, Ohio. Ron Cotta upsetting Carmichael in the 125s if you just tuned in. And we're in the opening moto of 250 action, and we've got a great battle going on for the lead. Number 1, Doug Henry, took the whole shot, has held the lead ever since. But Kevin Wyndham, number 14, and Greg Albertine, number 8, are now starting to apply terrific pressure. Look at Albertine. Albertine to the inside on Wyndham. Oh, great move. Now Wyndham comes back. Back and forth we go for second place.
Wyndham kind of sensed that coming out of the corner. I saw him just glance over his shoulder. He kind of knew where he's going, knew Albie was going to have the inside. He'd already looked over at this point. Might be able to see Kevin. He just glances to his right a little bit there. He knows he's got him coming into the corner right here. Tries to keep it clean. Anytime you can pass somebody, if you can do it clean, it just makes life a lot easier afterwards. As soon as you go in and bump somebody, you're like, oh no, I got it coming. Hey, there's Doug making a little mistake, came up short there. Could be just a little bit of a sign of the pressure.
Whoa, Wyndham starts rubbing plastic with Henry.
He missed a gear so bad. That set that up. He missed a gear coming out of the corner, just messes concentration all up, and there went Albie.
Greg Albertine taking over second place. Of course, that helps the point situation with Wyndham behind him in the points race. Really quite a nice ride from Greg Albertine.
And look at this, Larocco. I haven't even seen him in the frame in a while. He has just come from off the pace. He's right there.
Look out, Kevin Wyndham. The factory connection jack-in-the-box Honda of Mike Larocco is on the move. Mike Larocco looking to the inside on Wyndham. Now Wyndham's in a fight for his life for third place.
And Larry Ward's back there still pretty close. I can't believe how tight this is. Really stayed close, rather. Larocco is impressing me. I think that win last week probably told him a little something. He knows he belongs up there, and he's going as fast as it takes to get back up front. Try to put it 2 in a row.
That was Larocco's 11th career victory in 250 national action at Unadilla. What a great race that was for him. Larocco, every turn, gives Wyndham a look.
Now Wyndham's still trying to recover from just a simple mistake, just missed a gear. That allowed Albie to get by. Well, he's trying to recover from that and deal with it. Go, okay, well, there's 2 points. I just slipped further back in the title chase. Now I got to hold off Larocco. Believe me, that's all going on in your head.
Ezra Lusk, who needed a breakthrough race earlier, going down, taking him out of contention here in this first 250 moto. Now Larocco and Wyndham just trying to hold tight.
Larocco can see the leader. I mean, it's right there. He's made up so much time. He's got the pace and the toughness and the aggressiveness to pass all the way up to the lead.
Larocco to the inside. So Wyndham now has lost 2 positions in the waning moments of this race.
He just slipped a little bit wide. Larocco just using the inside, jumping the 3, coming right out of the corner.
Another look.
Wyndham just left a little bit too much room right there. He's glancing over, knows it's LaRocco, nothing he can do about it. Watch LaRocco just jet away out of that corner. Wasn't worried about making that pass stick. He's thinking about who he can catch next.
We're back on our leader, Doug Henry. And let's go down to Davey.
Hey, I just want to let you guys know, if you're wondering why we haven't talked to Mike LaRocco's mechanic, well, it's because Paul Delorier wants to keep the thing going. He's decided that I'm kind of bad luck, and he doesn't want to talk to me because every time he does, something happens to Mike. Well, as long as Mike's doing well, I am more than glad to obey that. Maybe later we'll get a word with LaRocco's mechanic, but in the meantime, we'll let Paul keep doing his job.
Superstitions affecting the reporting of Davey Combs.
Seems to be working. Whatever works. And now Emmig's mechanic, Jeremy, there watching his rider's progress, and not bad. Remember we saw him on the first lap with a pretty lousy start. Now he's up here battling Larry Ward, who's concerned. See him looking over.
Kevin Wyndham, boy, he's got a lot of riders right on his tail now. Larry Ward, and Jeff Emig makes the play inside on Larry Ward. Nice move by Emig. Moto 1 continues after these words. Doug Henry, number 1, has led from the drop of the gate here in Moto number 1 at the Kenworthy Motocross Park in Troy, Ohio. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Combs. Now a little pressure is being applied by number 8, Greg Albertine. Albertine, leading the points battle, has his adversaries behind him, though, as far as the points race is concerned. I'm not sure he can catch Henry. A lot of people have tried in this moto.
That's true, but Greg Albertine has yet to try, and now it's his turn. I think that could be different because he seems to be on a roll right now, and to emphasize what you're saying in terms of his position in the points, I mean, that's got to make him feel good. Plus, Doug rather, has made a couple little mistakes here and there, and if Greg can see that, that's just going to give him more fire. He's ahead of all the people in the points. Lusk is really fading, so is Kevin Wyndham, so he's looking good right now.
If it wasn't such a difficult transformation for a rider to effectively run this 4-stroke Yamaha machine in competition, they might have the top 10 all 4 strokes.
Well, I think if every manufacturer had a 4-stroke that was as competitive as the Yamaha, a lot of guys would be opting for them because it seems to have a little bit more power and certainly works well on the start. Maybe on the cement it hooks up a little better, and certainly on a track like today, it seems to be working for Doug.
You have to put credit to Yamaha's research and development for getting in there first.
Doug making a little mistake there, drifting over the berm, lose a little time.
We're on the last lap. Albertine and LaRocco just hoping that Henry makes a major mistake.
Well, just seeing those little ones, Greg can just taste it. He could be a little closer to take advantage, but they're running out of time. And not much left here. Doug knows how to ride it from here on out.
You come out of these woods and the checkered flag is waiting for him. Not since the first moto of the last race of the year last season, Delmont, has Doug Henry won a moto. This being, of course, the first moto win of the year if he can hold on.
Albie is right there. Just those 3 more points he could get if he could just make this pass.
The checkers are waiting for Doug Henry, so popular here at the Troy, Ohio track. They're waving, and speaking of waving, the wife Stacy just a little bit happy. Doug Henry wins moto number 1 here at Troy, Ohio. It's Henry, Albertine in second, LaRocco taking third, Wyndham moving back to fourth, Jeff Emig in the top 5. Let's go down to Davey, who's now with Mr. Smiles.
Man, Doug, I got to tell you, for a guy who's made a career out of surprising your fans, this has got to be one of the biggest ones. Where in the world did that come from?
I don't know, but this is what it's like to win again, huh? Man, it's just been a long time, and where did it come from? I don't know. I worked real hard the past couple of weeks. I worked real hard to get ready for Unadilla, and you know, worked good this week. And you know, I just knew that this track I've always done good at. I knew my 4-stroke was going to get me the whole shot, and you know, I knew if I could just run consistent lap times the whole time, I'd have a good chance of winning.
Yeah, that's right. You got that THQ whole shot, but beyond that, I know a lot of people in the pits are thinking, well, he's not going to last. Those other guys are going for a title and everything like that, but man, you never missed a beat. I expect that at Southwick, but not here at Kenworthy.
Yeah, you know, there was guys out in the pits thinking that, and I was thinking that too, you know. I was thinking, man, am I going to last? But, you know, now it proves that I can last the whole moto going that fast. So, you know, I look forward to the next moto.
Man, it's always great having you up here.
Thanks.
A terrific win for Doug Henry. Coming in second place, number 8, the points leader, Greg Albertine, adding to his points lead. Let's go back down now to Davey Coombs.
All right, Albie, another step closer. Second place, not where you want to be. You still picked up points on the points table because, man, that was Doug Henry up front.
Yeah, Doug had a great race. I'm really happy for him. My Suzuki was running great. Didn't quite ride as smooth as I'd liked. Seems like second motor, I'm a little smoother always, but what can I say? You know, thank the Lord Jesus for keeping me safe. I had a few close ones out there, and, you know, second's good.
Now the focus goes to the 125s. Can Ricky Carmichael come back and recapture his magic? Hello again, everyone, from Kenworthy Motocross Park in Troy, Ohio. We go to the second round, the second motos of both the 125s and 250s. Ernesto Fonseca getting ready. There's David Pingree with a good smile on his face, getting ready for this second 125 moto.
And here's the racetrack again. There you see the start, long straightaway after the start. So even if you don't get the whole shot, you still get a chance, though, out horsepower somebody down the next straightaway. Over here in the woods, I'd like to take a look at these shadows. It's a long right-hand sweeper, plus you're negotiating these doubles right here. 2 and 2 seems to be the best timing. Then you enter the shadow. This is where Lusk went down earlier, and you see why. It's tough to see the berm. Let's go back to Davey now.
Before they fire up the second 125, but I want to give you guys up to date on a little fact. As it stands right now, there are exactly 2 riders on this starting gate that have a moto win in their AMA professional career. One, of course, is Ricky Carmichael. The other one did it in the first moto, Stefan Roncada. With Casey Johnson, Talon Bolin, and Scotty Sheik all hurt and out of action right now. This is the only guy other than Carmichael who won a moto, and he did it today.
Roncada surprising quite a few, but winning that first moto. Ricky Carmichael now usually fires back with vengeance. There you have David Pingree, Casey Lytle discussing things now as the board goes up the 32nd board. When it goes sideways, you'll hear the revs as this 125 field gets ready for its second moto. In the doghouse, he'll spring the lever, and the gate goes down, and there goes Carmichael. FMF Honda's Sellers and Casey Lytle with great position for the whole shot. It's Sellers, number 27, coming out of the first turn in the lead. Casey dropping back. Casey collides.
Oh, look at that. Get a little offline. You go from second to last.
Number 695 getting the worst of the bump, and there's Ricky Carmichael right where he wants to be.
Almost.
Well, it's better than the first start. The first moto is what I meant.
Oh, yeah.
But he's got Brock Sellers in front.
He was so irritated in that interview after the first moto. I have a feeling that he's going to make quick work of this. I haven't seen him quite that angry all year.
Ricky Carmichael could take the overall by just finishing second to Brock Sellers, but that's not in his game plan.
It sure didn't look like it. He's just probably stewing on that first moto, not being able to gain any time on Roncada. Challenging Roncada or anybody else, really, they can't run his pace for 2 motos. And so far, no one's been able to do it.
Here's the interesting fact. Roncada, the first moto winner, is currently in third. And he's not that far away from Ricky Carmichael. Brock Sellers going into the woods in the lead. Let's see who comes out. It's Ricky Carmichael. And Sellers is in third. We'll have to find out. It was out of camera range. What happened to Brock Sellers? He must have maybe run off the track or missed a gear or something. But anyway, it's Ricky Carmichael and Stefan Roncada taking advantage of the mishap. Speaking of mishaps, during the week, during training, an incident happened with Ricky Carmichael that scared him out of his skin. I mean, these riders aren't only taking chances on the track, they also take chances during the week.
I was training Thursday, my pedal bike, my road bike, and I got hit by a car, actually a little S10 truck at an intersection by my house, and ruined my bicycle, and the guy hit me and left and all that stuff, and I got lucky. He hit me in my back tire. He was going like 15, not too fast, but fast enough to ruin my bike, threw it into the intersections like a yard sale. Everything was all over the place.
Well, he's pretty lucky, I can tell you. I mean, bicycles are always going to lose the battle with the car, and he's more worried about the bicycle than he was himself. I mean, that's an idea of how invincible he's feeling right now.
Well, and you're training as well for the Ironman.
Yeah, it's a lot of time spent out there on the road, a lot of cars. It used to be sharks that bothered me. Now it's people that drive in the bike lane.
Well, good training for Ricky. He's doing a great job right now. Let's go down to Davey Combs.
Colin, here we go again. Stefan's right up there. How was he between motos? How was his fitness?
He was relaxed, stayed calm, drank a lot of water to get ready for this moto.
Yeah. Things are a little different, though, this time. The guy up front with him is Carmichael.
Yeah, he's up front right now, but Stefan's going to keep his pace and hopefully do well. It's hard enough to beat him, and it's hard enough to beat him twice, so we'll see what he's got for this moto.
Ricky Carmichael and Ron Cotta, along with Sellers, the threesome really pulling away from the pack.
I kind of like the idea that Ron Cotta's right there. He's not showing him anything, but Carmichael didn't have a chance to watch what Ron Cotta did the first moto, and he can't see it here either. Ron Cotta's kind of in a better position right now, putting the pressure on Ricky.
Moto number 2, 125 action. Welcome back to Kenworthy Motocross Park in Troy, Ohio. Another hot summer day in Troy. This is Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Davey Coombs. Brock Sellards, number 27, is in third. He's dropped back from the first two riders, Ron Cotta and Carmichael, but he's still looking strong. As you see there, it's kind of a lonely ride, David.
Well, it is behind him for sure, but he's trying as hard as he can. You can see the aggressiveness in his style, his timing, it's all right there.
Suzuki stopwatch now as we check out the interval between Ricky and the other riders.
There you can see Sellers, he's got him in sight, not letting him get too far away. And when they get to lappers, things usually tighten up, so he's probably hoping a little bit that can happen.
Almost a 13-second spread between first and third. As we go back to fourth, Casey Lytle, number 33, and his teammate, Ernesto Fonseca. So it's a teammate battle behind them for fourth place.
Yamaha Troy having an awesome day. Fonseca is starting to pick it up a little bit in these nationals. I talked about it at Unadilla. He just hadn't really done as well as I thought he would do, especially with all the success he had in Supercross. But there's a lot more talent in this class, and it's all new for him. All the tracks are new, and he's steadily getting strides. A little bit reminds me of Kevin Windham, how Kevin sort of eases into things and improves slowly. He's doing the same pattern.
You know, we heard earlier from Eric Kehoe about forecasting ahead. Well, he was pretty lucky he got the depth he did at the beginning of the year when signing riders. The battle for sixth is on. It's Michael Craig, number 19, David Pingree, and Michael Brandis. Michael Brandis, number 49, moving ever closer to Michael Craig.
Jamming around that inside, makes the pass. All those guys hugging the right side down the straightaway, then they move all the way to the left. That's because they want to try to get a good run out of the corner to jump this double. Hard to get over that, especially on a 125.
Pingree tries the outside. Brandis cutting him down there, both on the Primal Suzuki team. And Michael Craig, an independent rider.
For as tall of a rider as Brandis is, he doesn't look too tall on this 125. He kind of blends into the bike and rides it well.
With Brandis, I would wonder about weight as much as height.
He's fairly thin, so I don't think he's given up too much in the weight department.
Good conditioning will help that's for sure.
I mean, if you look at Ricky, he's pretty stocky. So, I mean, even though he's shorter, those guys probably don't weigh that much different. I'd be anxious to see Brandis on a 250, though. He's got a nice build for that. A little mistake there by Ron Cotta, messed up his timing. That allows Sellers to get right in there.
Brock Sellards has moved up from that lonely third place ride to challenge Ron Cotta. Brock Sellards moves into second place.
They could have easily followed him. He's been taking that high line most of the race. He decided that time, yeah, just go wide. I won't follow, and it worked out perfect. It set him up on the inside in that next little corner and made the pass stick.
Roncada not willing to give that up. Tries to come back, but has trouble in the corner. Another look.
Watch Sellards right here. You can see him. He's just going right for that outside, hoping that he could just beat him around the corner and beat him to the inside right here, and it worked perfect.
Sellards in second place as Ricky Carmichael is nowhere in sight up front. Brock Sellards' teammate Talon Bolin, of course, out with broken ribs. He says, though, he might be back for Washougal. Would that be something else? We got an update on his condition just prior to race time from his mechanic.
Talon is currently in Sacramento at home, recovering from his injury that he had at Unadilla, and hopefully he's going to be back at Washougal, which is next weekend. I mean, the doctors have pretty much told him if he can stand the pain, he can race, and knowing Talon like I know him, he'll want to stand the pain and race.
Man, have you ever tried to do anything with bruised ribs? He's got broken ribs. Let's go down to Davey.
Art and David, I know you guys are probably sitting in a very nice booth watching all the action where it's cool, but down here in the mechanics area, it's a scorcher. It's been a hot summer. Kenworthy's always one of the hottest races. This year's no different. But one of the things the promoter does here, try and make it a little better for the mechanics, he puts his cooler out here. It says mechanics only. I know I'm just a journalist, but I am one hot journalist. One of the things Don Kenworthy does, try and make the day a little better for everyone. He leaves some cold ones in the cooler for us. It's just water, but it'll do.
Boy, about 4 years ago or 3 years ago, I darn near expired because of heat exhaustion at that track, right where Davey is today.
Courageous performance for a lot of the guys toughing out that heat. I know you told me about that, Art, and also the spectators sometimes even suffering heat exhaustion. And going back to Talon, I mean, how amazing would that be? And it reminds me, back in 1982 at Washougal, Daryl Schultz, who eventually won the 500 title, had a broken sternum.
Oh.
And if I remember correctly, I think they even had a helicopter standing by. Jeff Spencer was the doctor. They had another doctor, and he still toughed it out.
Buddy Antonez checking with his mechanic, Ed Longacre. And it looks like Buddy's day might be over. Michael Brandis, number 49.
There goes his teammates right past the mechanics area.
David Pingree, number 60, right behind him. So the 125s continue in our second moto of the day. Ricky Carmichael has checked out on Brock Sellards and Roncada. This week's Suzuki Flashback focuses on the 125 race from Kenworthy in 1994. Number 22, Ryan Hughes, got the whole shot and took the lead in Moto 1. Later in the moto, number 1, Doug Henry, the 1993 125 national champion, would pass Hughes for the lead. Hughes crashed, falling out of the top 5. The real battle was with number 20, Damon Huffman, and number 17, Ezra Lusk, both riding Suzukis. Huffman passing Lusk for second place. This crash by number 6, Jeff Emig, would leave him unhurt after coming up short on a jump in the back section. Moto 2 had Ezra Lusk out in front until number 22, Hughes, and number 4, Steve Lapson, got by him, pushing him to third. Henry, not out in front, was encouraging for Damon Huffman. Making his way to the lead, he passed Hughes for third in the process. Next was Suzuki teammate Lusk for the runner-up spot. Huffman was not done there. He battled with Lapson, finally getting the lead. This win was Damon's second overall win of the year, with the other one coming in Hangtown. Back to the 1999 action here at Troy, Ohio. Kenworthy Motocross Park. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs. Out in front, way out in front, and destined to win another overall is Ricky Carmichael. Right now we're looking at the Pramel Suzuki duo of Michael Brandis, number 49, and David Pingree. Pingree, not too long ago, coming off a shoulder separation, so he's working himself back into riding shape rapidly.
Both those guys work their way around Mike Craig.
Brandis and Pingree, both part of the Pramel Suzuki team, the support team for Suzuki. Their teammate Brandon Jessamine unable to answer the bell for Moto 2. Let's find out why. Davey?
The first moto, Brandon Jessamine got 6th place, but I understand he's not in this moto.
No, Davey, he got back to the truck back there, and I guess you could say the onslaught of a heat stroke coming on, so he wasn't able to make this one.
He gave it his all. That was a great ride, the best ride we've seen him do this year.
Yeah, it was really good, and everybody was really happy. everybody was, commending him on his job well done, and I was really happy, and just what a shame he couldn't make it this moto.
Brandon Justman having just a bad luck year before Supercross opened up. He was looking so forward to joining the Primal Suzuki team and got injured in practice and was unable to report for the entire Supercross season. The battle for sixth is going on between Primal Suzuki teammates.
Brandon's young, got plenty of years ahead of him. And everybody sort of suffers all the stupid things that go wrong early in the career. I certainly had all that. If there was a pileup, I could find it. Let me tell you, I was at the bottom of all of them. So, I mean, I had to change, brake, and all sorts of stuff. One thing I always was proud of is I was in great shape, and I was always able to do well in the heat. It's hard for me to relate to guys that can't, but obviously he's not designed to do as well in the heat as some others, and I'm sure he'll have to work on that in the future.
Nick Way starting to make a move now on Michael Craig, number 19. Nick Way, number 23 of the Pro Circuit team.
The difference in timing through here. Craig going 3-3. Doesn't really make up that much time, though.
Nick Way looking like he's just waiting for an opportunity. A great crowd on hand, despite the always stifling heat here at Troy. And of course, being a flat track like this, they work back and forth like a wave of people going from side to side of the track to catch the front runners.
These guys all starting a new berm there, too. I'm tired of that old one. It got pushed a little bit, got dry, a little bit hard to hook up in. It gets rough coming out, especially the second moto. Hit those bumps coming out. If you drank too much between motos, that doesn't feel too good on your stomach. These guys sometimes make a new berm out of where they put their foot. Their foot slides around just inside of the berm, and they start a new berm in that.
Yamaha of Troy's Ernesto Fonseca. Boy, it seems like we're going pairs and teams here.
That's what it looks like. It's like car racing.
I tell you, there's one guy who's a member of the Pro Circuit team, though, who's just disengaged himself from everyone, and that's Ricky Carmichael.
He doesn't care about his teammates. He just, where is the lead, and show me the checkered flag. I tell you, Art, I mean, I already said it, but I've not seen him so irritated after a moto as he was after that first moto. I mean, he couldn't even compose himself. It's like he wanted to go right back at it right then. Put gas in the bike, let's go.
Casey Lytle, number 33, would love to move up another notch, but he's already got, if he stays right here, the best overall finish of his 125 career.
We're letting him know he's doing a good job in this moto as he goes through the mechanics area. Look at the nice timing through the Supercross portion of the track. There's obviously a lot of it out there, but those two doubles right there, I've seen a lot of guys blow it. Larry Ward, even guys like Kevin Windham messing up the timing through there.
We don't have a shot right now of our leader, Ricky Carmichael, because he's so far out in front. But Ricky's well on his way to getting his 7th win in 8 races so far this year. Just a phenomenal run through the record books for Ricky Carmichael, who is really gunning for the career 125 national mark of 25 victories by Mark Barnett. Ricky keeps this pace these last 2 races of the year, and we hope that those of you in upstate New York and around the Pittsburgh area can drop in and see live action, and maybe Ricky Carmichael create history. We'll be right back. The finishing moments of the second moto for 125 action. Here's Ricky Carmichael, number 1. And there's just nothing but space, track, empty track behind him as he's checked out beautifully. Coming back with vengeance, as David mentioned earlier. Never seen him so displeased with a performance than in that first moto. You can tell his attitude adjustment is something else with the little can-can action he had before the fans. There's Brock Sellards. Brock is in second place, and he just continues to get better and better. I can't help but think that once Ricky Carmichael graduates completely to the 250s, that it's going to be one heck of a chase for the title between these guys who have been maturing behind Ricky Carmichael.
Well, Sellards has worked his way right into a nice position where he could be a 125 national champion in the future. Fonseca certainly has a chance. All those Primal Impulse Suzuki guys, a lot of new talent.
16 motos on the year, 13 victories for Ricky Carmichael. Taking his time as he crosses the finish line. Ricky Carmichael once again taking the checkered flag. So it's Carmichael's, Sellards in second place, Roncada an impressive third. Ernesto Fonseca and Casey Lytle rounding out the top 5. Okay, with RC right now is Davey.
Rick, way to recover from that. Well, I wish I could say a bad first moto. You got second, but for you, man, it's not very good.
Nah, I wish I could have won the first moto, but I don't know. I guess it wasn't my turn to win. And my Kawasaki was running good that time, a lot better than the first moto, and got a deep mediocre start. You know, I think top 3, top 4, and a couple guys made mistakes, you know, the first quarter lap, and was able to capitalize on them and go by them, and felt good.
It didn't look like the heat bothered you one bit out there. You looked as strong at the end of the moto as you did at the start.
I felt great out there. I've been training at home hard, and, you know, I don't want to slack off. Even though Boland's hurt, I still want to keep on going and prepare myself next year for 250s.
Finally, 2 more wins. You got Mark Barnett's record. You starting to think about that, or is it still just the championship?
Just the championship right now. That's the major accomplishment, and you know, I'd like to thank Chad Watts, my mechanic, doing a great job. Bell Helmets, Troy Lee Designs, Fox Gear, Oakley, Revenge, and Alpine Star Boots. That's about it.
Good job today, Rick.
Thanks, David.
2 wins to tie, 3 wins in 4 races to go to defeat Mark Barnett's record. Stefan Roncada, 2nd overall, Brock Sellards 3rd overall, and Davey is with Brock right now. Let's go to him.
Brock, you had a better start that time, but just Carmichael's got away.
Yeah, you know, I had to start, and I felt really relaxed the first lap in the back. There's this, like, triple and overshot the first 3 and tried to, like, I don't know, seat bounce the next 3 and landed on some stakes and flew off the track and threw some banners, and them 2 got around me, and it was hard to calm down after a mistake like that, and it took me a couple laps to smooth out. But, you know, Ricky was riding a great race. Can't take nothing away from him. I mean, he's won, like, every single race but one. I was hoping I could get him here, but maybe we'll take it to next week.
As far as the series goes, you're in complete control of 2nd place right now. You've never been at least at that level in your career. You got to be happy about what the future looks like.
Yeah, until this year, I've never even been in the top 10. So 2nd's pretty good, you know. But I'm shooting for 1st now. Once you get there, you want to move on until you get to the top, and then hopefully I'll get there pretty soon.
Good job today, Brock.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Suspense is not a word you use when describing the 125 points race. Ricky Carmichael now 99 points ahead of the 2nd place rider, Brock Sellards. In the remaining rounds, there's a possible 200 points at stake. Well, with a 99-point lead, he's almost halfway home.
Just about eliminated everybody. Their chances of beating him for that title. As Roncada passing his teammate Lytle for the win in the first moto, but Carmichael here in control. Title doesn't look like it's going to be too tough to get. I think that record has to be on his mind, even though he doesn't say it is. It's in the back of his mind somewhere.
While we're chasing the record book with Ricky Carmichael in the 125s, the 250s have a great points race on the way. But in our first moto, it was Doug Henry, the defending series champion, who took the spotlight away. The 250s are next. 250 riders getting ready here at Troy, Ohio for their final moto of the day. Doug Henry winning the first moto, getting that circulation up before getting on the bike. Greg Albertine in 2nd place was able to pick up valuable points in the points race. He's out in front right now. Mike LaRocco is coming off a win last week, his first since 1996. It was a long time between motocross victories for Mike LaRocco. The win last week at Unadilla was even sweeter, winning his first moto in several years.
That's the only way I wanted to win. I didn't want to, you know, a 3-2 and get an overall or anything like that. I wanted to go out and actually win a moto and work for it, and that's what happened, and, you know, I feel good about that part of it.
His 11th career victory put him back in title contention, a position he's been working hard for ever since he won the 500 National Crown in 1993 and the #1 250 plate in 1994.
As far as the points go, yeah, that helped, and I knew going into that race if things didn't happen soon, you know, as far as getting some wins and starting to take charge, that I'd let this slip away. So I have a much better chance now, and we still have 5 races left, and I'm gonna, you know, see what I can do.
LaRocco has always been well conditioned. Maybe that's why he survived several career-threatening injuries. This time of the year, especially at Troy, the rider's biggest enemy is heat and humidity. Besides lots of fluids and getting the body cool as quickly as possible, Mike says there's a lot you can do while on the track.
You ride a little more sensible. I mean, there's a lot of times if it's a cool day, you can do whatever you want, just hanging out and ride at the edge and be fine. But on a day like today, when it's hot, you do have to conserve a little bit, because if you make a mistake and you stop during the moto, you know, you get a major radiation, you know, with the heat in it. And that's hard to get past, because you may even fog up your goggles or whatever, because it's extreme heat, and you want to avoid situations like that. So you calm down a little bit, but you know, wear vented jerseys and stay as cool as you can.
That's good advice for today, that's for sure. Is Greg Albertine on the line? The last 2 races, he's won the last moto. As he told us earlier, he felt that he would be stronger in the second moto here today.
He always sounds upbeat, no matter what the outcome. He reminds me a lot of Talon Bowler in the 125 class. No matter what, he's always trying to make it sound like he's in control of things. But in the past couple of months, he's backed it up with his results. So if you go on the past 2 weekends as the second moto wins, he's got to be the favorite today.
Final moto of the day. Ricky Carmichael taking the overall in the 125s. Who will take the overall in the 250s? Will it be Doug Henry once again? Let's check out the whole shot as our second moto is underway. Henry got the inside charge, but Wyndham and Lusk come out with shining like a rose. Number 4, Lusk in the lead. Jimmy Button, number 10. Number 14 is Wyndham, and Doug Henry is right there at foil.
Just picked out Jeff Emig in another fairly mid-pack start. Great jump for Lusk. He needed it. He's got to get back in there.
He really needs a breakthrough, doesn't he, David?
He does.
Really needs something to just boost him.
This could be it, too. He's got Button back there in second, and then Henry in third. So that's a little bit of a buffer back to the contenders in the title.
The 2 4-strokes behind Team Honda's Ezra Lusk. And the overall looking pretty good for Doug Henry if he can hold his position.
Albie's right up in there. Another good start for Kevin Wyndham. Kevin's just been amazing from the gate this year.
Boy, he really has. Phenomenal percentage of hole shots, even though he hasn't gotten the 2 here today.
When he doesn't get the start, he's still right there in contention. Larry Ward up there again, another opportunity.
The challenge from Albertine comes early for Henry. On the inside, number 8, Team Suzuki's Greg Albertine makes the pass on Doug Henry. Lusk trying to pull a little bit of lead now.
Best time to attack, make your passes in the very beginning of the race. That's why you saw Doug Henry warming up so much between the races. It's not a problem warming up out here today. What he's trying to do is get himself psyched up and ready to perform at this pace.
Here comes Albertine. Had Jimmy Button looking to his right, and then he made the pass.
So he gets by both those guys, goes after Lusk. Albie is business.
Our Suzuki trivia question. Which Suzuki rider won the first Troy, Ohio 125 National in '87? We'll be back with the answer and more action right after these words. Everybody's had time to look it up. Which Suzuki rider won the first Troy, Ohio 125 National in 1987? The late Donnie Schmidt. Back to the action. Doug Henry, number 1. Still in good position to take the overall. Look at Kevin Wyndham jumping into the picture on Jimmy Button, and he makes the pass on that very short right-hander.
Up and over that inside, drifts to the outside. I don't know if he meant to do that or not, but he definitely held off Button. Ward right there. Look at this, side by side by side. Button, look at them both.
Who do I look at next?
Well, you look around, you just get past. I don't know why he looks around so much.
Lusk, Albertine, Henry. Oh, what a tight freight train out front.
Another tight three-way battle right behind him. Just the depth of talent this year has just been awesome to watch. So many guys with an opportunity today. Overall up for grabs. Albie and Henry fighting it out right now. Looks like it's between these two right at the moment.
Yeah, if Henry should take this overall, David, that means 6 different winners in 8 races. He we were talking about depth of talent before the Supercross season started. This kind of confirms it.
It's gotten even better now. As soon as you take McGrath out of the picture, everyone's like, oh, it's wide open. Anybody can do it. It seems like it just changed the complexion of the racing.
Did you hear the rumor? Not only Talon Boland might be coming back for Washougal, but also Jeremy McGrath might return.
It's hard to sit out and watch all this. Probably wondering how he fits into all of it. I think he can get back in there and do well. I'm sure he's been riding a little bit. He wouldn't show up there stale, that's for sure.
Jimmy Button trying to hold off Larry Ward, number 7. And it's a good battle going on.
Button getting a little bit better on that 4-stroke, better and better each week. Says it's a little bit tough to get used to, but it seems like he's been on it for a while now. I mean, he's got Doug Henry to talk to and ride with.
He really has improved, I think, over the last couple of races. Jimmy Button, originally out of Phoenix, Arizona. He's had a yo-yo-like career, that's for sure, having to go over to Europe. Came back just when it looks like that he might have a tough time hooking onto a ride. Zip, he's got a chance, and a great chance here this year with Team Yamaha.
Doug just staying glued to Albertine right now. Albie had to go wide there.
Oh, Henry cuts to the inside. What a nice move on the jump. And Henry moves in front of Albertine.
Well, he stayed right on him, and watch what happens to Albertine. He's trying to go for the inside. He locked up the rear wheel, realized, man, I blew it. I got to go wide. Henry's right there on the inside to take advantage. They had the same timing right there, but Henry was able to do it from the inside. Then he jumped 3 more. He got section a little bit quicker. Now, look at how much time he already made up on Lusk. So Henry has got this track wired today.
Yes, the last moto that Lusk has won was way back at Southwick. And Henry is going to go bar to bar with Ezra Lusk here.
Lusk had a little bit of a lead, probably started getting comfortable. All of a sudden, Henry's right there. I've talked about that before, how hard it is to readjust your pace and pick up the intensity.
Well, Henry had to keep up with the pace of Albertine, which was considerable.
Sometimes a little easier, though, when you don't have the pressure on you. You're the one to watch everything, learn, look for the right moment, or just force a guy into a mistake and just make the easy pass.
Lusk trying to hold on to get the moto victory. Doug Henry wants the overall.
I certainly wouldn't want to be in Lusk's shoes right now.
We'll see if he can hold on. Henry banging a little rubber with him. We'll be right back. We're back at Troy, Ohio. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs bringing you the action of our second Moto 250 action. The final moto of the day. Ezra Lusk is our leader. Doug Henry is right behind him there, number 1, the defending champion. The defending champion has never won an overall here at Troy. And we're talking 2 championship 125 seasons. We're talking last year's championship. And there Henry went into the wood area, into the corner in second, and came out in first place. A very smooth pass by Doug Henry. And he's got a chance now for the 5th sweep of the year. Here's Albertine also getting by Lusk.
Just to consolidate his grasp on the overall, Albertine gets by Lusk. Even better for Albertine in the points and better for Henry in the overall picture today.
Coming out of the shadows, it's Henry and Albertine. Let's go down to the mechanics area. Davey Coombs.
Man, I just can't believe it just keeps getting better. Doug's made a pass for the lead. Told him to relax his hands again. Are you worried he's going to be tired?
Just a little worried, but we're getting near the halfway point, so hopefully if he can just hang in there, I know he can just muscle through it.
It looks like you got that bike working great, too, because it's just spot on today.
Yeah, excellent for starts. 4-stroke's a really strong bike, so it seems to be helping with these couple long straightaways.
A shot of Jeff Emig now currently in 6th position. Emig taking a 6th overall in the last 2 events. Was really hoping for a better performance during mid-season when he really turned it on last year. Got back into the title picture.
He and LaRocco there, both making up for poor starts here in the second moto. Both these guys have the speed. Obviously, we've seen it from LaRocco. We haven't had a chance to see it from Emig that much, but here he is again, the second moto, working his way to the front, catching Kevin Windham again.
Important for Larocco to try to make a move on Emig with this points race the way it is. Greg Albertine out in front of these two, Wyndham and Larocco, and is gaining valuable points.
I'm a little surprised, Art, with Kevin today. I mean, he had his chances. He was right there. He passed Button. Remember, he was right behind Henry. He was taken off. And I thought on this style racetrack, it might really be in favor of Kevin. He slipped back just a little bit. It's too bad. He's giving more points away.
Well, the heat, like at Redbud, didn't affect him at all. No. So I doubt that it's the heat here at Troy, Ohio.
Yeah, from Louisiana. Think of a place more humid, hot, sticky. You got to be used to that.
No, not unless it's somewhere, a jungle in Brazil or something. Emig with only one podium appearance this year. That was the second race of the season. Time now for this week's Honda riding tip with Davey Coombs.
One of the things a lot of the riders are talking about this year is the sudden growth of concrete starting pads to the 250 Nationals. But here at Kenworthy, the promoter built an extra concrete gate so the guys can practice them. It sits over here on the side of the track. This means that guys like Sebastian Tortelli and Kevin Wyndham, who've been known to practice in the driveways of their houses, well, at least they could come here and have a place to practice them. It's been a hot button issue this year because not a lot of concrete pads were in effect until this year. Some of the managers don't like them, but at least Don Kenworthy here at Kenworthy Raceway has given the riders a chance to get better at this new trend.
That's been a characteristic of the Kenworthys ever since the Nationals started coming to that cornfield made into a motocross track, is that they always consider the rider's point of view.
They even run the track into the shade, get these guys out of the heat.
Yeah, right.
Actually, I really like the way this track is laid. I mean, it's a flat field, face it, and they have made it into a really fun racetrack. The riders enjoy, and look at how close the races have been, especially that first moto, 3 guys right down to the last corner.
Greg Albertine, the 250 points leader. Ezra Lusk behind him. And Doug Henry with a smile in his heart on his way to his first overall victory of the season.
Who would have predicted that this morning?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that he can win, but he just hasn't been that much of a threat for a victory so far. And to go 1-1 here today is just unbelievable.
Henry, of course, not in the title chase, David.
What it looks like to me is he's become so dominant today that everyone's kind of figuring, well, forget Doug, let's just race amongst ourselves.
Let's go down to the mechanics area. Davey Coombs is standing by.
Jeremy, good strong motor for Jeff this time.
Yeah, definitely. You know, last moto he rode really strong. He was happy he's doing the leader's pace, and he's definitely hanging in there. A tough race right now, and he's riding really well.
Glad you guys had work on your starts all week.
Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious.
Who would have guessed after the last couple of years that Jeff Emig would have trouble getting a hole shot?
I wouldn't have, but that's got to come to an end sooner or later. And right now, he's chasing the guy that's sort of taken over his crown as king of the hole shots, Kevin Wyndham.
Will Doug Henry pick off the overall? We'll be right back. AMA Motocross is brought to you by Honda Motorcycles and the 1999 Honda Race Team. Honda, ride red. Welcome back to the final moments of our second moto in 250 action. Doug Henry is our leader. As we look at some of the battles behind, here's Jeff Emig. He cuts in front of Kevin Wyndham. What's happened to Kevin? And there's Mike Larocco. Both Wyndham and Larocco in this points chase. They need to be moving the other direction.
Just little mistakes here and there by Kevin, and his intensity, I think, has backed off just a notch for the end of this race, and everyone else is picking it up. He's paying the price. Now he's got Larocco to deal with. That pass by Emig was pretty slick. It looked like he made his decision mid-air. Jumped to the inside, just caught Kevin by surprise.
Doug Henry is still our leader. If you tuned in late, Doug Henry won the first moto, and he's leading right now. Final lap, the white flag for Doug Henry. Albertine is there, Lusk is there, but they're not real close.
They're pretty much more worried about each other right now, I think, than Doug Henry. Albie's just trying to hold off Lusk. Pad his points lead a little bit more. Lusk is trying to get back in it after a poor first moto.
Boy, this has been a great day for Albertine if he can hold off Lusk. Here comes Ezra Lusk on the inside. Bar to bar through that bumpy section. And Ezra Lusk makes the pass, pushing Albertine back to third.
That was slick. Up over that plateau. A lot faster than Albie. So Lusk, look at the ground he just put on Greg Albertine. Didn't take long for him to just jet away. Now he's got a chance at catching Doug. We've always talked about how strong Ezra is in the final couple of laps. Getting to that point, Ezra is on the gas.
Boy, he's picked it up since that 7th place in the first moto. Ezra Lusk, number 4, out of Bainbridge, Georgia.
That's the corner he just went around where he had his problems in the first moto. Through there clean. Feather in that throttle. Bikes have so much power. If you grab a handful, you just spin a donut or a wheelie. You just got to ease it on. Use the clutch a little bit. You can hear it right back there.
Well, if Henry was pushed back to 2nd place, he would still win the overall.
Ezra would pick up 5 points. Sort of ease the blow from the first moto. That little crash dropping him back to 7th just killed him in the points.
Doug Henry, though, getting ever so close to the overall victory here in Troy, Ohio. And the fans are going crazy.
They just want to see it go down to the wire. Stacy doesn't. She'd like to see Doug hang in there. Looks like she's pretty confident. Doug's tough to pass. We've seen that year after year.
Here's the checkered flag for Doug Henry, the 5th rider this year to sweep an event, winning both motos. His first win at Troy in any division, and Yamaha's very first victory at Troy. Henry, Lusk, Albertine, the top 3. Morocco and Ward rounding out the top 5. Let's go down now to Davey.
Doug, after the first moto, I thought I'd seen it all, but I can now say I've seen it all. Congratulations. What a wonderful ride today.
Yeah, I don't know what it was today. Everything worked really good. I got great starts. Bridgestone tires worked really good. My Yamaha 4-stroke pulled real good. I was just real happy. You know, Bevo did a great job with my goggles, being able to see the whole time. Especially this roost is really tough. That's why I wore my Fox chest protector, just because the roost is really bad out there, and I needed it that second moto.
The second moto came a lot harder. Like Keith McCarty said, you had to work your way up from behind.
Yeah, you could. I guess you could say it's a lot harder, but honestly, like, when you get the whole shot, you're like waiting for the race to end, waiting for the race to end. But when you're in like 2nd or 3rd, you're like, okay, just follow these guys' pace for a little while, and you know, maybe put the moves on towards the end. And you know, I got by a couple of guys just making little mistakes, and then Ezra stalled it, and that's kind of all it took. And you know, I knew Greg was behind me, and I knew I couldn't let him by because I wanted to get the overall so bad.
Well, I know that you've got a lot of titles in your career, a lot of race wins. What about your mechanic, Craig Monty, his first win?
Yeah, he was real excited after that first moto. He was just laughing. Like, I'd look over at him, he'd just be smiling, and I'd just smile back at him. He was just really, really happy. So to pull out the second moto for Craig, I think he's happy. You know, we're driving to Washougal. Him and his fiance are going to travel with us to Washougal, help me drive the motorhome. So I think we're going to have a good trip.
Doug Henry closes the book with an overall victory, his first here at Troy, Ohio, in his last race. His 7th career 250 motocross win. Let's go to Davey.
That's a good, strong charge at the end for second.
Yeah, Davey, that was a good charge. I'm pretty happy with that ride, but you know, Doug really surprised me. I thought he was going to fade a little bit more than he did. Well, actually, he didn't at all, but you know, I had a little mishap here. I clipped one of those trees and just made me stall the bike there in that corner, and I had to come back from that.
What about the last stop? You got up there with Albertine, then you made a great pass through the 12 commandments.
Yeah, I think Albie was being a little defensive over there in that corner. He held inside really tight, so I guess I wouldn't hit him or something. And I just went around wide, did the jumps, and passed him pretty easy.
Bonnie, you mentioned Doug Henry earlier. How much has this surprised you this afternoon?
Well, they don't surprise me at all. Doug Henry has been one of my heroes for a long time, and I knew he would give it everything, if not everything else that he got. The guy's a superhuman guy, and it was really good. You know, I'm really glad Honda got this whole shot today, and Dunlop got me out of that concrete really good. And Fox and Scott goggles and Etney shoes.
So Albertine came into the day with a 21-point lead, leaves with a 30-point advantage over Morocco, 32 over Kevin Windham. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com, a part of the Go Network. Go.com.